Oh, I love this print. This beautiful pashmina I found in Italy. Love the squares. Looks so simple to paint. Gives me a great idea. I'm gonna paint some squares like this on a skirt. So I found this beautiful pashmina scarf in Florence, Italy.
Oh, I love Italy.
They have all these little stands where they sell all kinds of goods, a lot of leather, a lot of pashminas like this, and I really zoned in on this one. It was folded up, and I just saw I think I saw like the square part in there, and I was like, what is that?
If you like squares, you do. Oh, I like squares.
Love these squares. I think this is the wrong side right here, and I was like, wow. What a great print in different color combinations like that. So when I got home, I was looking through my stash. I wanted to make a winter Rosie. Rosie is my go-to skirt. It's an easy skirt to make. It just looks fun with things. And I bought a bunch of new boots this season. I want to make a winter Rosie and wear them with boots. It's because I never wear skirts in the winter, and I thought, I gotta change that. So then I found this wool in my stash. I actually had a lady donate a lot of silks and wools, and I'm like, I'm not going to use the wools, but
the fabric is comfortable for sensitive skin.
They're so beautiful. And this is like a satin weaved wool. It's not a crepe or anything, but it's got a whitish back and then the pink satin weave on the top, pretty wide, so I can make a long rosy skirt, use the width. And I was thinking, what if I painted squares all down, because it's a square with the circle in the middle, and I just painted squares all around the whole border.
Painting is a thing of the past.
Oh, and also paint the border like this right here, because it's all painted. It's like a darker charcoal gray and then a lighter gray. What if I paint the border, the whole square, in those colors, and then put blocks of paint throughout? So I tried to do some painting on a jacket that I loved, and I was too afraid because, I don't know, it's just, I wanted to do clouds, and I don't know, what if I ruin it, right? So a lot of my students are going, I'm afraid, and then I was like, what are you afraid of? But I know what that means, you're just like afraid to ruin it.
I am afraid.
No offense, but aren't you a little old to be afraid?
So this is fabric. I'm just going to cut it with the hole in the middle, cut the pattern, and if it doesn't come out right, okay, it doesn't come out right. I didn't buy it. I know this wool is worth some money, but I didn't buy it. It's also been around about 20, 30 years probably, so, you need to experiment, right? So why not experiment? Just make some squares. I'll just get some basic Rit dye. I'm going to start with the black for the borders, and then the light gray, and then get the colors. I got to find the color combinations I want to do. And I'd like to wear this scarf with the skirt, although I know it doesn't have a pink base, but it kind of, I don't know,
I'm not so sure about that.
See how that looks. But I am going to practice painting on a scrap of this and see how it looks before I commit to this, and then if it looks good, I'm going to continue on. All right, just to experiment with this, I actually frayed the edges off of here, so see how that will look on the hem. And I've got Rit dye, and I actually have this color remover also. I'll try that one. But I have these little tubs that I actually save for my hair color that work out great. And then I've been saving these. These are the brushes that you put the root color on with your hair color. And goal is to just paint this in the squares looking like this. I got to get this out of the way so I don't dye that. But I want to kind of match how this gray looks.
But we should do a test run first.
So I'm just going to paint it on, and I've already been making a mess in my little kitchen. I got to get this out of the way. Oh boy. So I want to make sure I do not want to color that. But I need it for reference. So I'm going to put it over here. just try and paint this and see how this paint reacts, or how this fabric reacts to paint. And then I want this little brush to give it some texture. Just gotta experiment on a piece. See, it's soaking up right away. I've got this other board under there. And then see how this is gonna look. You see already, I can see it's got, I have to put the drops closer here and then work my way in. Yeah, something like that. There we go. Yes, that's kind of cool with the little fabric dye right there. I think I'll get a spray bottle too and spray that and see what it does with the water. I don't want it to go through too much on that board because I've got another board underneath that. Okay, now if I sprayed this with water, help it mold in, kind of dissolve in, yeah, like that. Interesting. This could just look like a total mess after it's done.
It is a total mess in there.
That's the water part. That's interesting. To see how it looks when it's dry.
It looks like a Picasso painting.
This is the thread I was getting the frayed edges here, so gotta fray it before I start. And then when it's that dry, see how that looks. That's really gonna take that dye in here. And this has a gray part right there. I'll probably have to get some gray dye here. And that's cream colored here. But this is pink, so this doesn't have pink in it. I have dyes here, one's tangerine and one's magenta. So I think the tangerine, I'm gonna have to, that just seems like an odd color in here. But I guess I just gotta, that's why I'm doing the sample, just play around with this, see what it does. I have it all in my mind, it's just not working. I think it is, I have to see how it goes. And there's that. And then this one, I have a lot more water content in here. I diluted it more. So I want to see, I guess I'm going to have to really get a gray, because this is still just going to be, it's not gray. Because I was thinking a tint of white or tint of black is gray, but this is not gray. Ooh, it is kind of looking gray though, right there. Oh, wait a second. Well, that's interesting. Touch that and then, that's really weird, it looks gray. Wow. Look at that, right there. Wow. Okay, that's trippy.
Whoa, trippy.
I was not expecting that. I like that. There's literally gray. I was thinking I was gonna have to go get gray dye. All right, now I've got a little bit of wine and yellow. This got really wine colored. It added a little yellow, so now I actually have kind of a bad color. Trying to get for tangerine. I'm just gonna, I think they actually make tangerine, but now I've really diluted it too. Let's try and, might be kind of peachy. Just want to get like squares. What I can use on here too is a invisible pen. It's supposed to be hand painted, so it's have to be perfect. Just want to do big squares, like my scarf. This kind of looks a little tangerine-y. I do have another brush at home too. It's one of those foam brushes. Might try that. But this has the big, yeah, how's this looking in there? Pretty good. What I should do is dye it from the back side. I go through, no, it's actually looking good. Okay. So there's that. That's kind of cool. That might work. And then this scarf has a white border around it, but I don't think I'll be able to really get that white unless I find the color remover. Sometimes the color remover doesn't really turn out white. It turns out That's this stuff. Laundry treatment color remover. Removes or lightens fabric color. Huh, maybe I can get this cream color out of here. Like that. I might have to try that. Wow, that looks kind of peachy. That's pretty cool. All right, now I gotta let it dry while I decide if I'm gonna risk it.
I'm going to risk it all.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this piece out, get it frayed before I start dyeing it. And I've decided to cut the whole thing 4 inches longer because I want this to be on a longer version, a single layer. And it's all just gonna be torn and then fray the edges. So I don't have to hem it or anything, but I really wanna get frayed edges in there. Length and width and all. And just tear this. This fabric tears beautifully. Here. Oop. I have enough for my yoke right there. And then I gotta fray all these. Oh my gosh, it's already coming apart. But now I have to fold it in half. Okay, I have this all exactly in a half. Then I'm gonna fold this side over. I'm gonna do it in quarters. Very squared up. And then for my other patterns, I have the negative shape. This is the circle from my other patterns. So it's actually like this. And I have this corner here. This is straight. Then I will trace this and cut it, and I'll get my hole. That's the cut line. There, right here is going to be the center. I'll be making a notch here, notches here and here, and this becomes one of these. Look at, there's a dirty spot on here. And I think because this is so thick, I'm gonna cut 2 layers at a time. There's my circle. Now I have to cut out, I'm gonna put a V on this one. This little V right there. And then this one, I'm gonna do little slits. That tells me one's a center, front, and one's a side. Also, this is the length grain. It's going that way. So I'm probably gonna make this the center because that's which way the length grain is going. And then the sides, the side seam goes here. It's the cross grain. It has a little more stretch. So I'm gonna have to remember the notches are on the side seam there. I'll have to get a friction pen right side seam. Because the length grains stretch differently than the cross grains. Like that. Right there is my skirt. Right there. Just a circle square skirt. Square circle skirt. Now I gotta take this home and I'm gonna fray all of these. Look how pretty that fabric is. It's got like a little gloss over the white. So I'm gonna pull all these threads out, and then I'm gonna dye all the edges. I'm gonna dye the borders first, and then I'll get in there with the squares. But that is the skirt. That's all it is. So it's just gonna be, and then I'll be putting it on a yoke right there. So this is longer than my usual skirt. I hope I did it long enough, because now, I don't know. But these get really long. The points go and they almost hit my shoe if I go too long. So yeah, now I gotta do is fray it. Have my circle square cut. Circle square, yeah. And frayed the edges. And now I need to paint the borders. I only have about an hour left before class. I thought I'd just get the black painted border on, and then if I have time, do the gray on top of it. And then I need to go to the store and get tan dye, because I think I want to put some tan in there. I have to experiment. So I came in today to work on this, and I forgot my sample. So I have to just wing it.
Sometimes we just have to wing it.
I think what what I'm going to do is go around it with a visible pen, mark it 1.5 inches from the frayed edge. Let's see if I can just keep myself in that area right there. All right, here we go. Got it pretty diluted. So touch the fabric here and then just start painting it. Just touch it a little. It comes out really black, but then I kind of want that black there. I'll get the hang of this as I keep going. I got a lot of surface to cover. Okay. All right, I'm going to keep going around this whole thing. Mark it 1.5 inches from the frayed edge. The marking it really helps keep me in check here. Yeah, and that's looking like that. And then I iron it. I put on my lighter gray. Be done with the border. Okay, looking good. It's all dried. The border's dried. Didn't get any black on the skirt part, which is amazing. So now I need to paint. I'm gonna put the light gray on the above part here, and then start in on the squares and get the squares painted. I still haven't gotten tan dye, although I have something I can use. I just haven't gotten to the store. And I wanted to put another tan in there. And I left my sample at home, so I can't remember actually what I did. I can't remember the colors. So I think I'm just gonna get the borders done, and then I'll have to come back in tomorrow and do the squares and cut the yoke out and get that all prepared. One little step at a time.
Think it through one step at a time.
All right, adding the gray, the lighter gray. I've been just kind of doing a dab right here. And I got a little bit off right here because the sliding's not working so much. So I'm just dabbing it. Like that, just get a little bit. I wanted the pink to show in between there, but it's just blending in. I'm hoping that it's pretty light gray. This was the sample I had. I just did here. I want it really light, so this is just really watered down black dye right here. Hopefully that'll work. Looks like it's gonna be okay. But just going around, and then I'm just gonna touch it like that and then let it just drop in. Kind of gives it a cool look too, so it's not, yeah, I think that's gonna work. Well, in today to paint the blocks, and I was looking for the scrap that I did, the samples. I had a pretty big scrap and I can't find it anywhere. I don't know what I did with it. I know I was showing my friends what I was working on next, and that's the last time I saw it. So I have the scarf that gave me the whole idea. So I'm looking at that going, okay, try to get the peach, the brown, the grays. The gray's easy. The tan is pretty easy. The fabric store didn't have tan dye, but I got the dark brown and just really lightened it up. That came out a really good tan. This peach has been really hard to get because they have tangerine. They did have a coral. I could have gotten that, but
Duh, I know.
when I did the samples, I did wine and yellow together, and it turned out, I really liked it. I was like, wow. So now I'm having to match the colors, and I think I got them. I've been doing this all morning long, trying to get, not all morning long, maybe half hour, but trying to get the colors down, and I ended up with this block here. I really liked this color on this pink, but if I want to wear the skirt with this, the pink's not gonna work. So I've decided on these light gray, is that peach? I don't know. And then the tannish brown. So I'm gonna just go ahead and paint all these blocks on the skirt and hope for the best. All right, I think I'm gonna start on, I have the side seam here, center front here, so I don't wanna start in the front. By the time I get around to it, I'll probably be really good at it, so you always have your best stuff in the front. I'm actually I drew some lines here. They're very faint. They're dissolving really quickly. I'm using the disappearing ink, and just kind of gonna paint in some blocks right here and start it that way. And then I'll have to move it around. I think I have one going this way, like that, little blocks. And right here, I don't want to use the gray because it's right next to that one. So I think I want to use, I love the tan right here. Now I can't tell on this group of dyes, which one is the tan? Oh no, think about that. So I have to just test it. So I have, this one looks like it's the tan because the gray looks, yeah. So that's the gray, that's the tan. And then the peach is a little more obvious. So I'm actually I'm gonna do the first swipe right here. I'm gonna do the tan. I gotta make sure that was the tan because I mean it literally looks like, I can't tell which one it is. Okay, this is the gray. Yeah, okay, that's the gray. I'm gonna put my little, gotta put a sign there or something. Okay, I'm gonna start on this. So I'm just gonna, oh my gosh, I think the pink, I just hit a pink crystal. Something literally is on this right here. Oh wait, you know what that is? That is the invisible ink, because that invisible ink, oh, I think I'm afraid to do this.
What's there to be afraid of?
That invisible ink comes out with water. So that will dissolve right here. Seems kind of cool. Wow, see, this is gonna take a lot of paint. I'm gonna have to redo my colors. But I also kind of like this, not so it's not solid. Maybe my squares are too big too. Okay, oh yeah, see there's the invisible ink. That's freaking me out. That was, because I'm using wine colored dye. Well, actually, this is just the tan, so that shouldn't do that. Oh, see, now I got these drops, so now I have to really blend this. You know, this always looks so easy until you're actually doing it, right? That's why we don't all just keep doing crafty things, because you discover not everything is as easy. It's time consuming. Like I just really spent some time getting these colors right. And then setting it up. That's interesting. Okay. Oh boy. This is really the first time I've ever done this, so just experimenting. So I didn't buy this fabric, so I'm not, knowing I spent $50 a yard on this fabric isn't hurting me. So if it doesn't come out, it was just a fun experiment. When you actually buy $50 a yard fabric or something, you're actually painting it, then it hurts, right? Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay. Wow, I have my first almost half of the skirt painted. Looking really good. I'm gonna let that dry a tad, then I'll turn it around and paint the other side. Oh, that was easy. Well, not exactly, but I mean, it was pretty easy. This is a great way to paint like blocks, just messy like that. Get myself used to painting on fabric because I haven't really done a lot of that. Now, last year I was trying to do clouds on some white fabric and I chickened out because it was actually on a coat that I resurrected and then I didn't want to ruin it. So I just wanted to paint these clouds. But I think I'm going to try that now that I'm getting used to like, okay, I painted this and I feel pretty good about it. I think that looks really fun. It's going to be a pretty skirt. But easy. I also found the perfect lining, ambiance lining, that I just had just this little amount left for the skirt and I've already cut it out and got my square circle skirt in there right there, and then I hemmed one edge. I'm gonna leave the selvage edge, actually, that's gonna go on the side seams. And so I have like because it's not 60 inches wide like the wool is, and I've cut this little long. I also got the yoke cut out right here and stitched, and now I wanna paint the yoke, just 2 squares, and I love the tan and the gray, so I think I'm just gonna put tan and gray on there. I don't know. And I kind of blocked out some squares to go here. I love them to go over the side seams so that it's not like it was painted on the fabric and then sewn together. I want the paint to go around the side seams. And on this side, I'm gonna do like the square is going diagonal right here. So I'm gonna have this as my front. I think this was gray and this one will be tan, just kind of a little bit. And where I wear my shirts too. What color shirt am I wearing with this? I like to wear black shirts, so I didn't think about that. Anyway, I'll worry about that later. But where my shirts go over the yoke, just a little part of it shows. So yeah, gonna paint that right now. Okay, I'm gonna paint tan on this square right here, and I put this board under here because I have the underpiece right there, and then I thought, how am I gonna flip this over? But I think it dries pretty fast. I'm just gonna go that way. So which one was tan? I think it was this one. It's kind of hard to tell. Better double check. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put my tan here. It's kind of like a taupe, tan taupe color. All right. There is my yoke.
Should I stop painting now?
I'll let that dry, and then tomorrow I can put this all together. All right, back in today to finish my skirt. I have it all painted.
Nice painting.
I have the yoke. I love the way the yoke turned out. Oh, it's just kind of strange, huh? It's gonna look great with this. All together like that. And then so what I have to do now is put a piping or like a binding in between the yokes and the skirt. What I thought was to just trim off. I just kind of clipped this edge of the cross grain on the fabric and frayed one end. I thought I frayed one end more than the other, but they look kind of the same. And I'm going to just sew it, baste it onto the yoke part here, and then when it gets sewn in, it'll flip over like that. So it'll just be baste and flip over, and that will be the edging between the skirt and the yoke. I love doing that. So to just get a little extra color, the back side of this is white, and the front side is the pink, and same fabric, just a little different shading. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna baste this on, and then I can attach the whole skirt. Put the elastic on, and then the lining. Yeah, I got a little bit to do. Not that much. The hardest part was the painting. All right, have that all basted on, and I have my yoke basted on the piping part here, and just have this here, and when I flip it out, then I have a seam like that. Yeah, looks good. So now I need to attach the yoke to the skirt. And let's see, gotta find that one at the front. So I picked the front by the painting design I liked. So I put an F here, and then I got my back, my side seam notches here, because there's no seams in this skirt. So I have to make sure you have the notches, otherwise you won't have it centered. Then I have my front decided here, right there, because I like this paint part right here. And I just have to flip this right sides together and then pin this, although I don't have my notches in there. So how I'm going to do that is find the center of that. I'll do like a little V through all that layer. Be able to see it there. And then the back right here. That way when I'm going around it, I can really see it. Okay, now where was I? I got the front, yes, the front to the other front, right sides together. And then I'll pin all of this in quarters. So we got a side seam here and the side seam here, pressed open, and this should be fitting here. It looks a little big. Oh no, might have had a little glitch. Okay, I'm gonna see there. Is this big too? Yeah, the skirt's a little bigger than the yoke. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see how the back is doing. Oh, and then the back. Oh yeah, the back. Oh no. Oh no. My yoke's either too small. I'm gonna have to try it on, because this should just fit really flush right here. That usually does. I don't think I changed anything unless my skirt stretched out while I was painting it. Oh no. Didn't really paint it up there, because this should fit all right here. And it's cut now, so there's nothing I can really do about it. I'm gonna have little puckers right here. I don't want those puckers showing under here. So now I think what I need to do is try this yoke on, because maybe the yoke shrank with the dye. Because if so, then I can just let that out. But then I have that problem of the binding being on there. I can easily put more binding on it. But I think I better go try this on and see if it shrank right here. Because oh no. Okay, well this fits perfect. So that's not the problem. So I think what I'm going to do is do an E-stitch all the way around here to kind of lightly pucker it all in like you do a sleeve. And that way, because there's literally no seam to take anything in. I guess I just got my circle cut too much, or it just started to stretch as I was working with it. I probably should have stay stitched it. That may not have happened, or I just cut the circle too big. I'm going to go E-stitch this and see if that fixes the problem. Okay, did not E-stitch very well together. I thought it would do a lot better, but I got a little bit of puckers in there, a little gathering, so let's see if that works. Okay, I got the 1/4 of the front. Just that little amount is actually helping this a lot. I'm going to pin it from the wrong side here. So that just those little tiny gathers. Now it fits. It's cool. I'm going to try and definitely not to stretch this out at all. And this one puckered a lot more than the other sides. So let's do this side seam here. There, so this one will fit in there nicely. So just little increments of gathers can solve that problem. And then when I sew it, it'll all blend in. And then I have a video on how to E-stitch a sleeve in, and it's really fun actually. You just hold the presser foot back, and then all the fabric just inches up together and crunches. You get like little tiny gathers, or those like little incremental. Yeah, and this is now going to fit okay. Whew. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to take that in. Like have to make darts on the side or something, but now this is all fitting perfectly. Okay, got that on and no puckers. Look at that. Oh wait, There's one tiny, tiny one right here. It's gonna hide pretty well. But yeah, wow, that was pretty big on there. About 1/4 of an inch on each thing, but that E-stitch really helped. And then I was thinking that E-stitch isn't gonna do much here. I don't know why it wasn't working so good. I think because the lining was on it, it was thicker. So end resort, I probably would take the lining off, then E-stitch it, because I know this wool fabric E-stitches really beautifully. If you don't know what an E-stitch is, I will put a card up here on how you E-stitch sleeves in, because you just take the cap and you E-stitch it and it just cups and it just works out really perfect. A lot of it depends on the fabrics. Some fabrics just won't E-stitch very well and some just go too much. So it's a really fun technique, and in the video I show you the whole technique of E-stitching a sleeve. And you can use it anywhere, like on princess seams where the one bust seam is a little bit bigger than the other side, and you just have to ease it in because you want to create a cup like that. But that's what solved that problem.
Problem solved.
So this looks great. What a pretty skirt. Oh my gosh, I hand painted that. You'd never know. This is so wild. I love it. All right, now I'm gonna press the seam up, and then get a nice good press on this. And then the lining looks like this. Just that, and I've already pre-pressed like a 1/2 inch up. It looks a little more than 1/2 inch. And I'll just put it in there, and then this hand stitch it around that side, and that keeps that whole seam up. When that stays up, then this binding stays down. Otherwise it will cup up. It'll look really funny. I do have some skirts that do that no matter what. They keep doing that. So I've had to like anchor them down right here. But yeah, no hemming or anything involved. It's just the frayed edges. And this skirt is almost wearable. Yeah.
Oh, we're almost there at last.
Please tell me I'm almost there.
I have the lining basted in, and I went ahead and pinned my lining down. Make sure that it's not pulling it up. Sometimes the lining will get a little short and it will pull it up. But yeah, looking good. Oh, what I have to do now is I have to hand base that part, but the elastic, I'm going to use that fold over elastic that I love, the Dritz, and I had to actually make this one really tight because this skirt is heavy. And from past experiences, my skirts, if they're heavy, they walk down. So the tighter it goes, I can't go too tight because then I can't breathe. But what I'm going to do here is mark, this will be my center back, the seam, and then I mark the front. Just put like a mark there. And then I find the quarters. Then I sew it on 1/4 at a time, and I fold it as I'm going, and then it just zigzags on. So you just sandwich it over the side, pull it, zigzag it as it goes. I have a whole video on this also. If you ever make one of these skirts, you need to put elastic. It's the easiest waistband ever. And my waistbands don't show because I always put my shirt over it. I don't tuck anything in. But yeah, you just pull them around there. It's really simple. I'll put a card up here also on how to do a fold over elastic waistband. So easy. All right, elastic, hand sew that. See how this looks.
I can hardly wait to see it, although I almost feel I have.
Well, I got the skirt done. Oh my gosh, I love this skirt. This came out way better than I thought it was going to. I was really kind of painting that going, what am I doing? I don't know. It turned out really pretty. And thank gosh the lining was a good match because you can kind of see it under there too. So I guess, yeah, I really need to do new lining on this because wool itches me that a little bit. So I really wanted to line it. But wow, I love the squares. This turned out so cool. Wool is pretty easy to paint and dye. It soaks up the dye really well. It doesn't spread too much. And wow, just 3 simple colors. And I love the side like this where it paints over that way. And then, oh wow, then my little oranges right up here. And I might want to, I don't know about maybe dyeing a little bit of that band. I don't know. And then the border, really really shows that it's custom painted. It wasn't a piece of fabric that I found that was already painted and made a skirt out of it, but I started with the raw piece and painted it. And now I have my scarf, or my pashmina. See if this colors don't quite work with this, but I can use that as a little wrap around it. I think it still kind of works.
I'm not so sure about that.
It's the same flow, but yeah, I love this skirt. My winter rosy, too bad I can only wear it in the winter time because it's wool. You know, even with that, I'm gonna have to wear like long johns under that because it's cold. And that ambiance lining is really cool, and it gets cold, so yeah, it'll be like freezing. Anyway, so I hope you liked this video. Give me a thumbs up and try painting some fabric. Get some dye out, clear out some space, and try it. Experiment. Just do the squares. That was so simple. And connect them a little bit, and you know, instead of having to go and do like a masterpiece, you can just do graphic prints. Do circles, you know, circles and squares or triangles, and just play around with it. And wow, that turned out really fun. I can't wait to wear it. Anyway, so I hope that you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next video.
This painting would set records in an auction.